Good evening, Coyote here. How are you? I'm going to read some cards, but not before I speak a little bit. There'll be some of you who agree and some who don't. It's okay. The reason I'm coming on is because of my own emotions that get triggered. Basically, the cards that I'm going to do are going to point to, or at least my question is, staying calm while there are many pressures out there for conformity, for all kinds of control, twisting truth, last minute measures to make different um, sec- sex, sections or SECTS, sects of society conform, government workers doing this, college kids doing this, young grade school doing this for your protection or else, and all these pressures that never were before. And it wasn't that long ago when people ran into fear and believed so many things that, oh, the government said, just do this and we'll take care of you. Just do this for a little while. But it went on for a long while. It'll be all set. And if you go, not if you choose to, not if you choose to, often it was not if you choose to, go get medicine in the arm. How heroic you're being. And many believe that because many just get flu shots of all kinds. Even moms who've had children, they're either pressured or forced into their family, into hospitals. It's just what you do. You take this beautiful new baby human and inject it with what? You're not told. And you're not told when you show up to the hospital these days for your medicine in the arm. You're just believing that someone wants to make you whole, which is truly folly. Not that every nurse or doctor in the hospital knows what they're doing, because they don't. They believe too, depending on how they were trained. Just follow the rules, follow your book, even though they want to follow some kind of science that is very different than the basic science you would get in sixth or seventh or eighth grade. And I mean very simple human science that all humans and other galactics is know for this planet what goes on. So sometimes when I hear these measures of wear a mask, whether you've been medicine in the arm or not, now even if you have medicine in the arm, got to get the other one. Don't skip the second one. Get some more. Medicine in the arm people have more risk of getting of a variant, whatever that is, which doesn't exist. They're just saying that because most people who got medicine in the arm now have some kind of a cold, now have some kind of condition. Not everyone. Each of the administered um, medicine in the arm had a little bit different something in it. And the only people who really know, CDC has printed out that sometimes. Some epidemiologists have a very good idea what's going on. Some doctors do. But you won't ever see it on the paper before you sign away all your rights, which experimenting on people is going against, it's a federal law, it's called the Nuremberg Code, plus your own belief in God, if you will, or in human rights. So before push will come to shove, and I wanted to do cards that would show us in spirit how to stay light and bright, how to stay focused on what's really important to us. Hi, Deb. And also just really staying in that higher vibe, because it's very easy for moments to fall. Plus, the Schumann resonance of the planet is still spiking and doing its thing. Plus, we've entered a pre-time of the Lion's Gate, which 8/8 in August is a very powerful manifestation time. So start manifesting now. Put that in the works. Put that as part of your homework tasks, your assignment. And then another full moon, end of August. So it's a very potent time. Also, we've experienced many kinds of weather It's not just one section and then later on another section of the world. It's everywhere that there's been all kinds of extreme weather conditions, continued fires, continued flooding, continued whatever. And some of that may be normal, but the enhancements are not. We're in a spiritual war. The bombs, for the most part, are the psychology of science, medicine, and belief in you as partnered with a higher power, you in beliefs of wanting to question, and also systems of government, education, religion, monetary, and everyday family structure, everyday societal structure, systems crashing. Um, and it's happening. And not to be scared, but I even think just before August 1st or August, I'd say like now, the third, boom, something. And even if it's behind the scenes, like talk of Germany finding babies and children, 600 bodies, that happens for a reason. And also mainstream media, which is on here 6.5 to 8.5 hours a day, which thank goodness I do have a job currently. That's another story. They're just starting to bring up again a little bit more of the foster parent predicament, where now whether it was a show, a really true, I'd have to do a meditation of it, whether it was a show of actors um, or someone they really interviewed, just saying how certain caregivers were seen abusing the children that were in their foster care, or even what do you call it, caregivers for the kids when the parents are gone. So that whole thing, I sent forward stuff on Facebook. I've sent it uh, on Instagram and some places, and there's something you can call, I think it's called the RAINS in the UK, RAINS, the RAINS list. It's a whole list of the pedophilia structure, pedophilia families, some of the partnering that goes on, the people that are paid off, and how it's been like forever. And it's people with that have all kinds of good standing in community, and people in government, the policemen, education, nurses, healthcare, psychologists, um, and their victims, and some who escape and some who do not. And also, I think if you look up that, you'll find the murder of, I want to say his name is either Anthony or Tommy. He was 8 years old. I want to say it was the UK as well. But the mom got the two sons back. I believe she got them back because the two sons were in therapy. And I think what happened is something, the camel reached the straw. They had abused the children way too much. And it showed up where the children were complaining very vocally in school a lot. And the nurse saw what was going on. And it's not a normal abuse of what they had happened. And it really struck me because it's not just saying the words, it's the children in therapy, they're drawing pictures. And when you see these pictures from children, and if you were to look back at anything, it's been in movies, even in horror movies. They're just telling us in movies what they're freaking doing. It touched me in such a way. It's been a long time since I've been doing a lot of any deep dives, really deep dive, but we tend to forget that horror is real. People are doing these things. If you've seen someone being eaten alive, they've done it to a human alive, or a child, or a dog alive, another looking human. They've done it. You don't have to wait for a movie script. They've done it. And just getting your permission as they show you, you're just going to the movies. But I liken it to if you were to actually see or go to, if you had the courage, if you had the balls or whatever, to go to a slaughterhouse and watch. That's horror. Go watch it. That's real life. Go watch it. They make that into movies in other ways to get your permission to brainwash you and numb you to every creature valuing their life. So you would not eat meat at all right away. I would dare you to eat it. in the next hour and smell the blood. It wouldn't happen for good people who care, who just care. They were gruesome. Well, the same happens to people and children. Where do you think bodies go? So there's so much. But I'm hearing things on the TV about all this stuff coming up, and then whether it's Massachusetts and other states, they're trying to enforce the mask again. And I too, at this new job, where I'm hardly any, I'm in a warehouse. I'm in a warehouse. And no one wanted to work in the warehouse, and it was hard to keep drivers driving car parts and stuff. So today my trainer wasn't there, I was by myself, expediting and doing things and whatever. And then I did have one driver, I had two drivers show up, and another driver that works only on weekends who was in the neighborhood or close by kind of showed up. But usually it's me and a driver, and sometimes my trainer, and everyone's kind of in and out. And the company said you've got to wear a face covering inside. Inside, if you haven't had medicine in the arm. And I said, I'm not getting medicine in the arm, and I'm not wearing a mask. And my trainer was like, didn't know what to do. And I said, well, I have a note from the physician that says I can't wear a mask or have a medicine in the arm, and I'm glad to give it to you. And I also went to www.americanfrontlinedoctors.com, and you can go under the tab legal, and there will be a document that lawyers wrote. Now they didn't sign their name to it. They wrote like a 4 or 5 page supportive why masks aren't working. They cite 27 articles or 27 science reviews or 27 meritable, look upable scientific stuff that an employer could see. So I'm just going to sign that. But as it is, this was asked of me a couple of days ago. Today I brought my stuff in. I also brought in some copies for my coworker because he didn't want to do that either. We're free. We know what's going on. And also, if we didn't, we just choose to be ourselves. That's a human right. That's a common law right. No institution has a right to force you into their health care, not even your employer, not the government. They want us to go social. We're not, but we're not. We're in this spiritual war and we're being one. And these are the last measures of who doesn't know what. And so I wanted to pick cards, with like I always do, that are pretty comforting about themes of these last few weeks being, pretty tough, or pretty like at a moment's notice you might go, ah! and you might swear, or you might cry, you might be super mad, or maybe you give the finger to somebody else because you were really like mad about something else, but then that happens to you, last minute, and you just kind of lose it because you haven't had a chance to get that energy out in an appropriate way. Like I came home, I worked, and I went to the grocery store, took care of the pets a little bit, and then I walked in bare feet on the lawn. And I highly suggest, if you have a chance, even if you're like a little tired and you're going to do it, if you just take your shoes off and just stand on grass that you feel comfortable about with no glass or something, a lot of dog poop, but somewhere that it's pretty straightforward. And our yard is like that. There's nothing that's happened in the yard for a long time. Been always pretty immaculate. So that felt really good. We have trees in the back, so it's like I could be praising and thanking the elementals and God, or however you so choose to call God. And so that was like really kind of relaxing to do. And I'm going to say that I'm in the human body, but I'm divine. And I'm going to encourage people to accept and fall in love more with their divine self. Because even though we're in human body and our wires can get crossed as we're becoming more and more higher density and more into our psychic and intellectually psychic abilities and intuitive abilities and our caring abilities, be kind to yourself and do your best to not say like, oh, I make mistakes, I'm human, just forgive me. I'm just human for every single thing that seems to not turn out well, because I'm sorry, that's fucking not stepping into your power at all. It's like passing the buck of the old paradigm, of the old system. I'm not, even anybody who becomes extremely psychic for the most part, there's a learning curve of really trusting what you're feeling, just allowance of trusting what you're feeling or sensing. And sometimes the timeline is not correct. And sometimes, yes, they've been wrong. But to hear from a famous psychic, well, I'm only human and, timelines change and people change. Then what the fuck did I hire you for, honey? Because, I could do that right now. Come on. Cough up $200. That's not right. But everyone's learning and everything's really forgivable and it is an adventure and have it be a great adventure. Just take it on. I hired someone, take it on. That was like really like all year ago. And she's a brilliant person. She's brilliant. And in her experience, she has at least 4,000 or 40,000 followers. And, she's always on. And good, I'm going to find my way to that way for like being in service and attracting her help. But again, I'm going to read the cards. I think it'd be helpful for me too. I did pull some cards last night before I went to bed, and I've got to take a better look at that message for me. But I love when I just pull the cards, and they're such my friends. And I've had about 3 weeks where I really wasn't pulling cards a lot because I was getting used to the job, and I was tired, and I was trying to do a lift, and I don't know, I kind of was still getting lost on YouTube, and sometimes I do. But I need to go to bed earlier, and I want to bring up how the energies on the planet are pretty intense. So if you're being called to nap more, nap. If you can't get to all of your steps 4, 5, 6, don't. Be easy on yourself. Go rest. If you don't want to be around people, don't. If you don't want to go to something you normally go to, don't. Because I think, getting downloads and energy is shifting, and we need to rest. Our batteries need to recharge. Our batteries, our bodies are becoming different, more crystalline. So we're adapting, and the earth is adapting because we're simpatico. The Schumann resonance isn't just like the earth, the Schumann resonance. No, duh. Our brain and the earth resonance has been the same for hundreds of years, and now that the Schumann resonance of earth is changing, we're changing our brain, our body. The earth is changing and becoming more crystalline too. So when she's alive, these are not just words. That's the whole thing. It's like, as we evolve, can you kind of feel that what you say is in every cell of your fiber out to the skin and further? That is truly expansion, truly awareness, truly allowance of the wonderment, of the amazingness of you, right? And together we're doing this amazing things, more of us than not, some going kicking and screaming, some that will croak off the planet, some that will, in hindsight, have some new direction of not wanting to croak, and a cure will be there for medicine in the arm, or light workers will be able to extract boogies and energy and metals. And that's really a cool, wonderful thing. I don't know if I can do it on the first try, but I know that that's part of my role to do that. Fact. So I'm really, really happy. I'm discovering, like, all of a sudden, like, I still wonder, what's my purpose? What's my purpose? And it happens to people sometimes right away. Like, I knew in 2013, 2014, I was a steward of planet Earth and an emissary for the Galactic Federation of Nations. So we hear the Galactic Federation of Worlds. So those are the fighters, those are the super soldiers, and you can still include light workers. But I'm an actual emissary that will be part of a council for intergalactic travel to different planets. And so we won't be countries, we will be nations, like that. I don't know how exactly it's going to work. I just know the language it's going to shift. Yeah, so that will not, and more current than even when it was happening a long time ago, because I thought people would think I'm weird talking that way. I seemed like the only one. So I just kind of put it aside, and other life adventures happened. So yeah, I wanted to support you in your energy. I also wanted to share, so I had a couple of things happen. I'm going to run by a friend to share because it's kind of cool, but you're hearing it first. So today, I had a couple of very interesting timeline or other realities happen. I was walking back into the warehouse through one particular door that does have some sunshine coming into it, and the garage door to the place would, but that was closed, and I was getting ready to leave. and pulling things, putting everything together, putting things in my car, so that when I do the security alarm, I don't have a lot of things in my hand because I have to lock the door and shut off lights and all that. So and punch out. So what I saw was, I would say it wasn't further than 6 feet. It could have been 8 feet, but I was like walking in. There's a carpet, there's a kind of a wall, there's space. But from one part of the wall revealed, and it just appeared, it just really appeared and scurried, was a cat. And I could see it in its detail and its color and what it looked like. And it, it could have been male, but it felt more female. But anyway, it was more the color. I could see it. It was a tabby with browny gray at the ears. And it just kind of walked across my path about 6 feet in front of me, just scurried. And there's no cat. There's no cat in the whole place. There's no cat hiding in the whole place. There's no cat stuck in the whole place. Nothing. What's interesting is I noticed since I first got there that there is one smaller of the warehouse rooms where many aisles are for filters and things. But there's one little section where it's very strong, but it's maybe it's 1 by 2 feet, but it's not the whole area. It's just very noticeable that there's cat territory marking. But there's no cat, there's no dead cat, no remnants, no whatever. But today, and earlier, I always think about when I walk by that particular aisle, I was like, oh, yeah, cat. Maybe they had a cat there, maybe they took care of a feral cat, maybe the cat was in there, and at times we would mark, or maybe we thought the cat's not there anymore. But I saw a cat. It was it was holographic, but not completely see-through. It was really very 3D, but yet it was like a ghostly horror, but really real. It was holographic, but it was ethereal. I didn't sense that it was dead, but it was just I saw this cat, so it was like maybe another reality. So right now, I just feel like it was the ghost cat, was somewhat holographic and yet 3D, had substance to it, but yet it was spirit cat in some way. I had that experience, and then when I was actually walking in our hallway to go into the bathroom to just throw some tissue away, for less than could have been a nanosecond, when I stepped just over walking toward the threshold and just over the bathroom door threshold, there's sinks and humanity. But for really just like a nanosecond, I felt like I was stepping into an alternate reality, but then I came back. It was very, very interesting. So maybe some of you are having an alternate reality experience. So sensing things is unusual. Sensing the climate of this time when the last remnants of evil are wanting to bombard you with fake laws, fake science, scare tactics, social pressures, laws that won't hold, institutions that are making up stuff to fine you or make you look like you're the oddball and you have no common sense to even ask to even behave that way that your heart is so guiding you. So the cards tonight are really about how we can just be in these last couple of weeks. I don't think some of the super soldiers and some psychic people are like, oh, it's going to be September, what do you call it, December. And I'm like, with the F word that starts, that great one, I think people have had it. I can't imagine most people saying, I want a vaccine passport. Because imagine, let's just pick this other Terminator timeline, right? This darkened planet where maybe a section of it looks very tropical, where all the evil goes to party, drinking their adrenaline drug, and on certain other planets, and then they'll bring the children or hybrid children or robotic people that they keep mating to make a food source, to make a human clothing source, to entertainment, torture source, slave source of every different levels. Also in training those in whatever bits of fuel, which could be more cannibalism. They're not going to dole out fresh garden fruit for those they have enslaved and sorry, they'd be cannibals. Dumbing down the minds, AI, soulless cloned being, clones produced for organ harvesting and or food, clones that were from DNA of human and or other species. This is real. So you can go and look at all kinds of movies to give you hints of what's happening. Look at the little lights. Did you see the little light go like that? That's my third thing that happened. Yeah. So, okay, wow. Um, I could tell you more that's been happening, but that's enough. Enough about me. What about you? I don't know if you're here still, Deborah. Wish you live this week. Thank you. Thank you for the compliment. If you're still here, and if you're not and see this later, thank you very much. And sometimes I don't really pay attention to the chat because I'm not consistent yet, and I think some of that is the pressure of not being consistent in card readings at this point. I really feel like one-on-one is really good for people to get insights, but the collective still is good too. There's so many wonderful card readers. I do like Janine. Sometimes I feel like Michael Jaco, but right now, sometimes it's just like kind of watching them have fun, and they can have fun, but it's not as informational for me. But just seeing how they relate, and very nice people. Um, and then there's Amanda Ellis, who I like. She's more genteel and she talks to Metatron and does cards. Um, I don't think my friend Robin from the UK has been doing much on her channel lately. She could be. I'm not sure. I haven't talked to her in a couple of weeks. I probably overdue. And then, there's one channel I'm not going to anymore because I was bounced off it for asking how the facilitator who could read cards and feels about animal rights and animals, how she felt about animals in the zoo being injected with the a C19 medicine. Look at that! I got lights coming. I got lights coming in my room. Oh, that's so sweet. Yay! Um, so yeah, like, and they told me that anyway. Occasionally, even though they want to talk more spiritual and their tarot and blah blah, this woman is a professed animal rights person. She knows lots about animals. Very, 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 very intelligent that way, and speaks to animals and has a good business with her hard reading every day and being hired for things. I was telling her she was talking. Yeah, I don't think I can stop the cursing completely because it is kind of who I am. It's like hard to be a good girl that way because right now that is just what's happening organically. And I think there's some people that need to hear people swearing because I do believe the infinite mind, the creator God or the prime creator or just plain old God swears. Like like for an example, the motherfucking humans, I gave them so much and look at that. They're like they don't even know history, they're not even looking at shit. Oh great. Oh well, you know what? I love them so much. They're really gonna find out, and I'm gonna love them, and I'm gonna take the evil, and they're gonna go to the golden portal, and I'm gonna transmute them. Don't worry, that is neither created nor destroyed. And I'm gonna hang out, being my cloud person, because excuse me, the infinite mind creator is not like some old guy looking like a Charlton Heston or your favorite hunky handsome movie star with the staff going, yeah, baby, I'm gonna send these people to hell, and I'm gonna send you to heaven, and you haven't done very very bad lately, so I guess I'll send you to a good place. Oh, yeah. You've been to church. So, yeah. Because think of all the languages, and even life code languages, and even how we're so capable of learning other languages and keeping that all straight in our computer. So, it's amazing. Um, but yeah, there's so much really going to happen. I hope, I don't know, it'll be all right. Some of my Christian friends will never see things, and some of them they'll see it. Because some of them they're really awake. They really are. But they know what they know, and it's going to be challenging for them to know that all ETs are not satanic minions and all that stuff. But yeah, think about clones and stuff. I mean, I remember when we talked about the first sheep clone in the 60s or 70s, and I wondered about that as a kid. And then it kind of disappears for a while. So lots of stuff to really know about. Yeah, so I hope wherever you are, Deborah, and whoever else will see this in the replay, that you are well, that you are acknowledging your feelings, because you've got to do that, whatever they are, you've got to get it out of you, so don't explode and on something, someone just walking by you that spits or something, and you don't approve of it, which is really none of it is let them spit. But as long as not spitting on you for no reason. I mean, But because we've all done it, right? Like you have something happen, it's last minute, it's unexpected. You really wanted to address how you felt to someone else. You didn't have an opportunity, wasn't sure you should say anything, and then you're in that whatever elevator or car smash or grocery line or one last thing happens and someone runs over your foot with a bicycle. And you want to just. My analogy when I get really mad lately is if you try to do anything to me, I'm going to take you and choke you out till your eyes pop out of your fucking head. That's pretty gruesome. Yeah. But you see, love is not a doormat. Love is not love is not like there's tough love. Because love is not a doormat, and love is the most powerful frequency in all of the multiverses. And we all have it, or we're in denial of it. And we're going to learn how to use it better and better, especially those that go and are space warriors or angelic warriors, because that is how you actually do defeat lots of satanic personalities, is with that frequency. Even think of that movie, if it's really telling, Mars Attacks. It seems to have humor in it, but it's got little bits of reality, that we're discovering in it. And they have the cowboy music and it starts popping the heads of the Martian because it's really like heartfelt, goofy homespun music, and they can't stand it, right? That's how minions are. However, I also have to say one has to be solid in their beliefs and in their energy work. And I think I'm not going to say, oh, you need to be a shaman, you need to get it right. I've certainly called in things I didn't believe would happen, but I did via my calling in and misusing. I had poltergeist things a long time ago. But I was a little miffed at Ms. Elena Denon, who I advocate so much on so many levels, but she really kind of ticked me off where, oh, you can't really call in things. You should be very, very careful. Things bad things will happen to you because they happen to her. Well, stuff has happened to me, Dallins, and I ain't gonna stop. Not because I just know better. When you know better, you don't do it that way, right? If you stick your hand in the hot fire, you go, oh, well, I guess I'm not gonna cook that way anymore because I am in my human body, and I think that if I get too close to a high fire, I may feel some heat. And depending on how long my hand's been in that fire, I may hurt unless I develop to a place where, oh, my hand just does not burn and I don't hurt. Okay. Plus, hey, she admits, along with someone else, they have implants. So, like, their psychic helpers just rescue them, right? But here we are, navigating the path, maybe, um, sometimes not listening, and we're learning. But she had the right to say, however, she said, but she made it sound like no one should ever try to channel, no one should ever try to, be their psychic ability, just raise their vibration. And I was like, done with you that way. Sorry, Chip, if you see this and we're famous and maybe, no, sometimes people can get in a moment fearful and full of themselves. They believe in their own propaganda because the world is starting to say, oh, she's lovely. Oh, she's fierce too. She's called people fucktards and assholes. Not as much as I have, but she has. So I mean, she's lovely. She's a lovely person, and just a lovely person, right? And she has a special skill and serviceability that she's helping. But I've been in shaman classes and stuff. I've also seen shamans act like jerks, because they don't want to like kind of reprimand the group and kind of like uplift them more and stuff. I don't know. I get a little bit like, listen, be a light worker. Okay, great. But when you start like not being your own, uh, leader, way shower, example, then I'm like, I'm a guru. And do I want to help others? I want to help other people be their own guru. I want to just like shine the light of talking about things and showing things and having people ponder conversations and stuff that's really difficult because we need to see things that are difficult. Some people think when we speak honestly that we are angry. No, I don't always feel angry when I speak honestly, or even when I'm swearing. I'm not really. It's me getting that stuff, that fake stuff that's hitting my energy field, and I just want to get it out. And I think sometimes people, it's like, excuse me, it's a little bit like we all at one time or another, or maybe 10 times plus, have wanted a designer something, or longed for a designer dress, shoes, pocketbook, watch, earrings, shirt. Even if we didn't get it, we longed for it. We thought that was cool or good or prosperous or abundant or help us manifest. And when we would see our favorite movie stars and we might see their so-called high school picture and where they are, 5, 10, 15 years later, and their boobs are big and their ass is just right, or they're so handsome and they seem to be really decent people. We're going, oh, I want a guy like that. Ooh, I bet if I went to Hollywood, they'd make that like me. Because that's what I thought when I was studying acting. When I get to Hollywood, well, you haven't seen pictures of me when I was younger. My ass stopped clapping, and yes, I was a babe. I was a hot babe. And I'm still a cute babe. I'm just older. That's all. Quirky, older, super intelligent, wishing to talk about things, and I'd rather take it light and be funny. Because humor helps a lot. So we were all, we were all duped, thinking we needed to be that to have more. No. Let's use the example, and I don't know Steve Jobs, was he on the evil stuff? But anyway, he has a quote saying, whatever the cost of your pocketbook, the contents inside are the same. And I can attest to that. Now we don't have the most expensive pocketbook in the world, but it's like a $280 pocketbook. That's a good price for a pocketbook. Yeah, it's a real good price for a pocketbook. That's some shoes. That's like probably gas all the way down to Florida. That's a couple of nights in a hotel room, whatever you want that to be. That's groceries for almost a month, depending on how you eat, or for it's decent, right? Decent dollars. So, but the contents haven't shifted so much. If I have money, I have money in it. If I don't, I don't. If I put my crystals in it, got my crystals in it, whatever it is I need to tote around. So yeah, so thank you. So here's the thing. So I'm going to trust my codes are in me, but I'm going to just put them over the cards. I just keep on. I didn't do that. There are times I sometimes just feel them in my hand. There are times I'm very aware of that. Today was not a day of meditation. I did do like a prayer that I do a mantra a couple of times, and I sang really goofy at the warehouse because no one's there, and it had like great acoustics. I was not in voice. I'm a trained singer, but was not in voice, and so I was really just having fun, not being in trained voice. And I made up a song to the divine about stuff that we're going through and thanking for the divine watching over us and helping us and wising us up and helping us help each other, because that was fun too, because no one could judge me. I could just be goofy and put words together. That was fun. Maybe sometime I'll do that too on my channel here. I can't promise you if I'll be in voice. That I probably will have a time when I'm in voice and in singing voice and I'll sing, but no, maybe not now. Not now. I'm not ready. And I feel a little scratchiness actually today in my voice. So we want some help that complements this time as we go through listening to some bullcrap and pulling away from it. How we can shine during these last few weeks of our world so being uplifted, saved, encouraged, protected in our ascension, evolving. Yeah. So what will show? I don't know how many cards we'll get. I think anywhere between 2 and 4 is something. And we'll see how the numbers come, colors, and what I sense from them, and also what the author has said about that as well. Know that these cards are meant for the time, I think, because they are about star seeds and galactic remembrance. Also very spiritual. And maybe when I get tarot cards, I'll be a little bit more detailed and I don't know, like I think these cards can reveal if there's something really bad. But so I'm going to take 4 cards right now with that. Okay. Oh, wow. I've gotten some cards. Of course, like I said, I haven't done it consistently for a few weeks, but I've gotten some cards I've never had this combination before. So let me just look at it for a second, okay? Wow. You're going to really appreciate the line. Let me just say what they are in words, and then we'll take them one by one. Um, I want to also just check the numbers. I don't know why. My glasses, my real glasses, aren't coming to me, so I have cheaters on. So I'm really gonna wish that my real glasses are gonna help me. But I think the cheaters are not. So there's that. Which I'm just gonna check numbers right now before so I can have a sense of what's going to be. Now I might do something else. 6, 8, 9, 10, 12, and 2. Okay. The numbers themselves of these cards, they are all about balance, honoring both masculine and feminine, which this time is about honoring the divine masculine, honoring the divine feminine. There's 3, which is mind, body, spirit. The triangle, which can be divine. The triangle, which can represent the masculine as pointing to heaven, as above. 8, the infinity symbol, money, prosperity, continuance. Yes, evolution, balance, infinity. That God source has your back. And 6, which also has to do. Oh gosh, I want to go. It's about kind of releasing and trusting. It's not just a leap of faith. It's something else. But I'm just gonna get that and break. Yeah. So I did the numbers, but we'll go back into the numbers just a little bit. The last one, it's rid your life of negative energy and trust yourself, love yourself, self-care, and you can do anything. You can really do anything. It's just connecting to your guides and having that vision. So I'm gonna put the number thing here, so let me just read the titles of these cards, folks. You. So remember, this is about how we can be in these changing weeks as we truly leap into August and as we truly are hearing the last vestiges of all kinds of insinuations, accusations, false and true, as both sides finish at it, giving us news so we can have discernment, so we can stand for our rights, our divinity, our rightness to live and know, not be controlled by government institutions, work, friends, whatever. And so the first one is you are the oracle. The second one is enter the silence and listen. Enter the silence. Take a time, silence. You could be in your car. You could just drive into a parking lot that's quiet and stay for 3 or 6 minutes and just, even if nothing happens, just quiet. Okay? Call in protection. Nothing has changed about spirits, the power of frequencies and angels and the God force since the beginning of whenever this planet was and other life forms were here and then we were created here. They have known. Call in protection. Call in you, your high self is you, or angels, or elementals, or the galactics, or the high ascending masters, whatever feels resonant to you, to your heart is true. Call them in. They want to help us. They want to help you. And the last, be calm, anchor your energy. So as I'm going, oh yeah, maybe they're right. Oh, and that Rita, oh, Coyote said, and oh, I better look this up. What? And I don't know. But so, you have every right to say, I'll get back to you. Thank you. You have every right to say, that doesn't sound correct for me. I value that's correct for you. Show me the law. Show me your law. Where is it? I'll be glad to go look it up and consider. Show me. Put me in touch with your physician. Put me in touch with your nurse. Send this to me. Go look on CDC, which also changes a lot from one of my friends who's a very good researcher. It's there, it's not there, partial it's there, part of it's conflicting, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, it's all experimental. This is in the arm, all. So many people have said the animals died in testing, people died in testing, and there is a lawsuit of at least of for the 45,000 people in America that died directly from the medicine in the arm. There's lawsuits against people about that already and more. And I have firsthand experience with driving someone in Lyft who he did choose to get the vaccine, but he knows his children aren't getting the vaccine. I encouraged him not to get the second vaccine. We had a talk. He wasn't like against me. We didn't choose to have our masks on. That's fine. It was great. But he did because he thought, I'm in the public and maybe I should. But he also knew the signs and see how we second guess ourselves because we want to be good and we want to just fit in. We don't want to have to war against people and want to get along in our job. No, someone has to go first, and it's uncomfortable sometimes to go first. But anyway, his first daughter, who now was celebrating her 7th birthday, up until about she was 5 or 6, she had been getting horrible illnesses and skin things, and every year she had some kind of vaccine. Their pediatrician said, "What if this year?" I think it was just after she was 5. We won't do vaccines. Let's step away from that. 6 years old, nothing. 7 years old, nothing. She's been healthy, no colds, not sick, not flu, no rashes, nothing that she used to get. She's okay with food. And then they're younger, they're not doing any vaccines. Now think about what those parents are going through to be in that spot. But there are many of us. There are many of us as champions, many of us. And you can't tell because people sometimes in the grocery store, they had a vaccine. Oh, they had a medicine in the arm. They're wearing a face covering. They're wearing a face covering. They haven't had medicine in the arm. They don't wear a mask. They've had a medicine in the arm. They don't wear a face mask, and they didn't have no medicine in the arm. Never, zero, ever. No. Okay, so let's go into these cards. Okay, you are the oracle. You are the oracle. This is a sacred site. I think it's in Glastonbury. There's a portal of time for our ancestors to come through and help us. I understand that they are already here and have been here, but some are on the way. Now, I really thought full disclosure, real full disclosure, if we were lucky, if we were more ready, we might see that 2024, 2025 as a collective group, 2027, and definitely by 2035, definitely by 2000, we're gonna, like, Star Wars, and they land somewhere, and those people, and they're all from everywhere. Yeah, it's coming. It's. I think it's faster. I think there's more of us that want to know. But if we're looking for our galactics to just come to Earth and save us and beam us up, Scotty, that's not going to happen. So you are the oracle. You have the power. You have the power. You have the staff of goodness. You have your third eye jewel. You have your, I don't know, the white around her is sort of like a headdress. There's also the Loch Ness monster in this. There's a beehive, which kind of represents unity, industry, building, industrious. The bee was never supposed to fly the way they can fly. Miracles. She's sitting on a throne of 2 lions, which in ancient Egypt, the lions were vegan or vegetarian. It's not that they would eat you, but if they smelled that you were there to harm the pharaoh or no good, they would, like a dog, sick you. But they were not carnivorous. They were omnivorous or carnivorous. This is a wonderful card of plenty, showing that you are the embodiment of Goddess God on earth. And again, the sacred site. I want to say this is Glastonbury. There's also like I don't know if that's a light to a portal getting into this tower where I think that supposedly was where the Holy Grail was. And the Loch Ness monster, like animals and life that exists in places but is hidden out either because there's portals and they come through, or that particular area kind of fosters the gift of that animal in longevity, the magic of belief. And this is called Avalon Starstream Oracle. Yeah. So it's number 2, and that is the balance of yin and yang, and that is harmony. What else is it? Male, female. I'm gonna move on. This card. Enter the silence and listen. This is a number 3, which is that mind, body, spirit, honoring your temple, the triangle pointing up. And also this card, she's like shrouded. It's almost like she's either part of the elements or she's in great intense, meditation. And as you meditate, you can morph into the invisible, and the invisible becomes part of you because you're suspended in time. And while it looks like a dark card, it's also when you enter the silence, you enter shadow as well, because you're going within, you're willing to listen, you're willing to have the guidance. And what you may see or envision is not always pleasant, but it's to touch your heart, to break you open, to have you be more than you are, coming back into the body of awareness. And so, again, we live in an electromagnetic magnetic universe, and the heart is 100 times more magnetic than the brain, and the heart is 5,000 times more electromagnetically powerful than the brain. So this is a card of saying, encouraging meditation, encouraging taking a look within, and being an observer in this, being an observer as you enter shadow and light, being an observer to embrace, not judge. And sometimes when you start to look at stuff you don't like and wish you never to do, and you can work through those feelings, you actually, they become like your friends, and then you really see how they help bring you to where you are now, not in a good way, but they make you more empowered that you can actually understand evil. Now, that may sound like a stretch, but if you've ever done anything that seems horrible or really bad for yourself in your world, and you would magnify that because at sometimes we have just totally haven't been able to be with those some of those shadow selves of ourselves as we are learning. So imagine that that darkness, that evil, that intensity, that gruesomeness, they're mirroring back your special skill and ability because you have heart and soul, which they are devoid of and would like, but they're showing up in their own way so that you can say, I can observe and I can embrace, I can transmute, and I can send love, I can send at least the word, the message of care, so that they are catapulted, guided, taken, and put into the place where the prime creator, the one that's all, transmutes them. You have nothing to do as an angel or light work or warrior. You are there to expand your light and be real with yourself. If you can't be real with yourself, then you're just saying, oh, you hate the evil and so for those people. You've got to get a handle on this. You've got to get a handle on your complaint. Me too. You've got to get a handle on your pointing fingers. Me too. You've got to wrap your heads around. There is no time for you to be justified and evolve and expand and be in your superpowers. That's old paradigm. It's not the way it is. You don't get a free pass. You've got to do some work. You can do little bits at a time. And what you can't do yourself, you ask your angels to help you with. But that becomes easier and easier. And the evil is the mirror to say, wow, I didn't choose that. Remember the movie when Darth Vader, before he's really, really Darth Vader, and he says to his wife, please come with me. I'm going to rule the universe, and love. And she's like, no, I can't go down that path. You're choosing a path that's not right for me. I can't do it. Please come with me. It's too dark. I'll be right here with you. I'll be right here with you. And he basically says, it's too late. I've done too much bad. Screw it. Screw it. I love you, but I'm going to that there, and that's where I'm going. You should come because you're my wife. But she steps away, and he's upset. and it is upset because he still wants to prove to her, and he wants her back, and he's going to be the Lord, and he's going to be the dark, and he's going to be whatever, and he's going to have her back because he just wants to protect her in his darkness. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. The darkness speaks the darkness, but it can show the light because it's devoid of light. In a mirror, it shows you your light, intensifies it. Whatever goodness you have, and you can pray or affirm or meditate or what do I want to say, have a mantra for shining, for having that more light grow. Everyone has it. Everyone has it. You got it. Okay. The third one, call and protection. This is such a Yeshua card for me, or Ascended Master card for me. And one woman who saw this, she was afraid of his eyes. They're very much close up. They're very much like, an Alaskan, the husky dogs, like where they're that ice blue or ice gray, but so light. And there's almost like this light that shines through them. And they can be fierce, and they can be loving, and they can be intense, but you don't know which way it's going to go. But really, the light of God surrounds me. The love of God enfolds me. The presence of God watches over me. And wherever I am, God is. And look how it's so expressed, the blue around the chakra. And almost in this card, it's almost like he's rising from the clouds, rising again. And of course, some people, as he is an ascended master, and he's from Syria, and I think, was it Syrian theme? I forget which one myself. But he was from Sirius, Yeshua, and me too. So he's my cousin. And he's rising from the clouds. Like when he died and ascended, and people saw him like leaving his body and ascending, very likely he could have been going onto a spaceship, or as an ethereal being, just went through time and dimension. And some people open to his love and to wanting to be there aligned and in the Word and really get who he was, saw. So this is a number 8, and again, that's in the infinity symbol. Like the source has your back. Prosperity and money and magic and that never-ending cycle. How we're all connected. Yeah. So that's cool, right? And then be calm, anchor your energy. The last, which is tonight's theme about sensing the unusual and the allowance of what we're going through. Be calm, anchor your energy, which is a number 6, which is letting go of negativity and trusting that you got it. So while it represents sometimes lovers, so you can think of yourself as a lover and a lover of life and a lover of this time. So you can do anything, connect to your guides, form the vision in your mind, rid your life of negative energy. This is the time. All these cards, they really symbiotically play off another, where you are the oracle. And I've been starting to say, you are the key, activate the power within. Enter the silence and listen. Meditate even if it seems like 2 minutes. Be in thankfulness and in appreciation. You love the clouds, you love your pillow, you got to go to the store and buy some food, you have gas in your car, it rained, you didn't have to water your plants or lawn. And if you didn't like the rain, yeah, just find a reason to like it, because we aren't the only things that need rain. There's the bugs that feed the birds, and the birds that make poop happen after they eat, and things grow, and other animals that do that, and animals that live in the forest where they need to be around plant life that's good for them to eat and thrive, as well as any of us who are eating plants and rely on farmers to continue their livelihood to bring food to us. Call in protection, just to remind us that we're never alone, and to call in the divine. If you need to call in the divine 20 times a day, go and do it. It's not like a hard and fast rule. There's no one has a playbook. It says just do this that way. Maybe your meditation is walking. Maybe your meditation is starting to fall asleep. Maybe your meditation is that 2 or 3 or 6 minutes in the car before you get up to go to work. Maybe you're in an elevator. Maybe you're in traffic. Maybe you actually do have enough time and will make time to do 10 or 15 minutes to listen to music that's uplifting and say, show me what I need to do today How can I be in service of others? How can I be in service of myself, where I expand and take care of my life, being in service of others so that whatever I do really uplifts because I've filled up on energy that I've really trusted in you. And that make it so that I didn't know how it was going to come about. I know I'm partnered with you. And then be calm, anchoring your energy. Anchoring your energy to the earth. You and the earth symbiotic. You and the earth going through great resonance of change, crystalline. The earth is developing its body, it's changing. So I understand through an intuitive friend. Think about it. Think about it. California will lose some of its coastline. Florida might a little bit. California mostly, I think, and I was told the higher east coast by an intuitive friend. Land masses will change. Some will come up, some will sink down. Islands, we may have craters of some kind going on in different earth places because we need to honor the earth where we build. And also, the earth has been very, very violated over many hundreds of years. Um, and it is being purged, even if there's extra rain, even from evil or the good players trying to maneuver and do this chess game, where, like in Germany, 600 bodies of babies and children were found and they may have already been deceased, but they more than likely came from underground dumps. And some of the underground, while we believe most of the underground dumps have been cleared, there are spaces that either can't be, have been exploded because the secret forces going in there. Um, some have been ambushed, so they can't always take that chance to wipe. I think I said this yesterday or the day before. They can't take the chance to have a 200 battalion of soldiers um, get wiped out while they're trying to save people. So if it seems too risky, where they may have miscalculated or don't have the right coordinates, or they know their information is risky, um, it just might bring the whole place down, which is unfortunate that there may be some children and people there that pass, but also it's to take down the evil that's still there. And these things to feel, it was war, so it feels uncomfortable. Um, but then it's for sure that it's done. It's closed, filled up, done, whatever they do in their explosives or their high technology gadgets and more flooding or fire or whatever. And, when you think about it too, but this isn't right. I mean, I'm all for seeing the X-Men. And I think we're going to see hybrid humans, which is good. We should see hybrid humans that are thriving and part of us and part of our new future and part of our technology in terms of assistance and co-creating. No, not using, nothing about domination, nothing like that, nothing black witch, black voodoo, nothing like that. But think of the movie X-Men, where people were experimented on, right? And remember, there's one fight scene between Wolverine and the soulless black blue girl. And when he finally kills her, um, there's almost like a relief, like she was AI programmed to kill a killing machine, almost against her will, that little bit of remnant that was human. And, but we have so much new discovery to be open to and not be afraid, be open to it. One time I drove someone when I was Uber, and I mentioned a little bit of stuff, not that much, but she said, oh, she loved horror films, and she loved horror films, but like and she wasn't the only one, someone was, they were afraid of spaceships, and I said, there are cousins, don't be afraid. Certainly there are ones who mean us no good, absolutely, but there are very benevolent races that are here, and it's meant to help us in evolution and for us to have new discoveries about ourselves and in good care. So, and I said, like, try to take it light on the horror movie because, they're not good for our psyche. But people that were really into horror, think of that program, or into the horror makeup. No, I never was into that because some of that stuff really happened to me. Like, so I know it can manifest and it's true, and I don't have that, anymore. but our word is our wand, and we are so powerful. I hope that these cards, and I hope that the message tonight was very, very helpful for you. I'm going to say what they are again. Just love this one, right? This is also like the Ascended Master, right? Us in meditation and the mandala, and just kind of I think the amethyst is crown chakra, just being in that place of total receptivity. So you are the oracle. You are the oracle. Enter the silence and listen. Call in protection. Be calm. Anchor in. You anchor your energy. Yeah. Well, I've been talking for about, wow, an hour and 5 minutes. So if anyone you listen to this and have been hanging in there, please know that I want to support you in any way I can. Certainly, you can always write me. You can always actually, write me a question. I'll see if I can pull that on the cards. You can always write me if you need any energy help or want your own card session or a $5 donation, and that would be helpful too. And much appreciated. And anything goes. I still have to continue the session I want to do for my mom. I haven't been on top of getting all my testimonials back from people, so I hope that they will send some if I need them. They have them, but looking forward to testimonials. And then my new thing, and I mentioned it in my last video, is that I'm going to make some time to, not just from my house location, I may actually drive to places and truly do energy work around the area of hospitals and institutions and areas that I think could use some transformational assist. And I'll be calling in, higher helpers to infuse and allow the floodgates to have that energy permeate the area. I think that's the main thing that I want to do and work on the next couple of weeks and then now. Right? My little Kylie heart just loves you. You are the key. You are powered by the stars. Let's activate the power within. Bye. Thank you so much.